Today I'm going to show you guys an entire brand new way to play BeelStarmon utilizing many cards from the Beelzemon Advanced Deck set instead. Digimon fans, welcome back, and today we'll be showcasing a whole new way to play BeelStarmon with its pure purple version. Other than Beelzemon receiving a ton of support from the starter deck, BeelStarmon also got a couple really good cards to amp up the deck even further. I know many of you guys are huge fans of BeelStarmon, so I wanted to show you guys this pure purple build, which is nothing like the traditional style whatsoever. The goal of this deck is to rush down your opponents quickly and combine both trashing cards from the top of your deck and hand to fill up for resources. By doing so, you can play your BeelStarmons for reduced cost and start dealing massive damage to your opponents with the Impmon warping into Beelzemon combos afterwards too. If you're still not too sure how this all works, don't worry, as I will have a quick combo and how to play guide to teach you guys after the deck profile as well. So let's show you guys what we have for the build today. I'm also super excited to announce a new feature on my channel where I launched my very first ever YouTube membership called the Avault Club. By joining, you will have access to exclusive perks and contents that regular viewers don't have. Perks include the Avault Club membership badge, and the best part is that you'll be able to see members only community posts featuring my first draft deck profiles even before the video comes out. You will see more updates by me for every deck profile release and even updated deck lists and adjustments with all the lists. Your comments and questions will also have priority replies from me. So what are you guys waiting for? Click on the join button right now. Thank you all so much for the support, and I look forward to engaging with you guys. Okay, starting off with Digi8 cards, we have the 4 copies of Pagumon from ST6. Simple, on deletion, trash the top 2 cards of your deck. For now, I'm going with Pagumon because trashing cards very quickly with this effect is very important for this deck. You actually want to load up your trash. After all, it is somewhat like a BeelStarmon deck, and this is the reason why I decided to go for. However, I do want to mention that Demi-Meramon that you can add in as a 5th egg, or you can play Demi-Meramon instead as your main egg, because drawing and trashing cards from your hand, particularly so that you can choose specifically which cards, does come in handy, and it does become important for this particular build. But for now, my personal preference is the Pagumons because they've been working out great, and turbo trashing really just helps you get there to where you need to be, more so than Demi-Meramon for now. But again, up to you guys. Okay, let's go into our rookies. 4 copies of the good old BT2 Impmon on deletion trash 3 combinates very nicely with the Pagumon together. Really helps turbo trash super quickly with this effect overall, and this is the guy that you always want to be going into early stage of the game to chip away your opponent's security. Then we always have the EX2 Impmon right here, which is really good. Once again, as always, as long as it was milled not via an EX2 Impmon's effect, you get to choose to mill another 3 cards from the top of your deck, which is going to be really good. Again, supporting and milling and trashing really quickly. And also on play, it helps you searches for a Beelzemon and a Ayamako. Just so you guys know, we don't play Ayamako in this build whatsoever because we're not really focusing on digivolving anymore in this particular version. Therefore, searching Beelzemon is okay, but really you actually want to see your Beelzemon in your trash more so than anything. So this guy is really there just for being Impmon in its name, and then just to mill more cards, and you usually want to be digivolving this guy anyways. Great and hurtable for Beelzemon 2, extra 3000 DP for your turn, but that's about it. Keep in mind guys, this guy is really just for the tool for milling faster. Then we got 2 copies of the Starter Deck 14 Impmon. I personally do kind of want to bump this up to 3 copies, but it's been difficult to find room, but 2 has been working okay so far because it's really good when attacking. If you have 20 or more cards in your trash, you can warp digivolve into Beelzemon for a cost of 3. Very memory efficient, really strong in the mid and late game card generally, and with its inheritable, you get to delete your opponent's Digimon that's level 3 or lower once per turn when a card is trashed from the top of your deck. Really great for removing floodgate rookies or any small rookies in general. But yes, the other thing is that you do tend to get into this card quite a lot later on when you start doing your BeelStar combos as well, which is why I did thought about playing 3, but 2 is good. Really up to you guys too. And then last but not least, for all our rookies, we do run the 2 copies of the BT6 Impmon right here. This one's just going to be really good because on play, you're going to trash 1 card from your hand, and you get to grab yourself a Digimon card with 7 Great Demon Lords or 3 Musketeers back from your trash to your hand. Mainly, you're going to be using this card to grab your BeelStar back. You don't really need to grab your Beelzemon in this case. And being able to trash one card from your hand, like I mentioned earlier, is just going to be really important and really good, just so you can choose which particular cards you want to have to be setting up in your trash to fill up for your combos and go for your big plays later on. And yeah. Just before I show you the next card, did you know that we will be getting even more Beelzemon support in the upcoming BT12 Across Time set? The Beelzemon deck is only going to become even stronger than ever with all the new X-Antibody related cards for it. So if you guys are just as excited and can't wait to see me cover even more deck profiles and guides for Beelzemon, then be sure to hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on that notification bell to stay tuned. Also, give this video a like because it really helps the channel and I greatly appreciate the support from all of you. But let's get back into the deck profile. That's it for the level 3s. Let's talk about our level 4s. We do have the small Eismon package right here. Not a particular package this time. We don't play the regular Eismon. We only play scattered mode, and simply because it is really there for you to draw 3 and trash 2 cards. Once again, trashing cards from your hand specifically is going to be important for BeelStar, so you can pick and choose. Mainly your targets are going to be your 7-cost options and maybe potential BeelStars to add up the numbers that you need, which is why this card is going to be really important. Speaking of which, of trashing cards, I do play one Dark Lizardmon Retaliation, which is great, but also on deletion, draw 1, trash 1. Very similar idea and effect, just so you can pick and choose. And then I have one copy of Dobermon. Dobermon as a tech is always really nice because it helps you mill on deletion, milling more cards, grabbing cards you need back from the trash as well. You can grab anything. Mainly it's going to be a purple Digimon card. We don't really play purple Tamers in this particular build anyways, but yes. Then we have one Ginkaku promote right here. Mainly, we're just going to be playing it for its rush. We don't use its on-play effect whatsoever. We're really trying to use, again, for its rush capability and combinating with our BeelStar combo. So then it gives us an extra swing that exact same turn if we ever get to do so, which is why it's really good. And then last but not least, for all the level 4s, we do have one Porcupamon right here. 4 costs. It's a blocker, but also has a very nice on-play effect, which trashes the top 2 cards of your deck, which will help and set you up even faster, which is why it's a really good one-off card too. That's it for level 4s. Let's talk about our level 6s, and we don't have any level 5s in this deck whatsoever. But first and foremost, let's show you guys the boss Digimon, BeelStarmon, the star of the show of the deck. In this particular build, which we do want to mainly focus 4 copies on the BT6 one right here. She is your main one because when you get to play this card from your hand, you get to reduce its cost by 1 for each 3 Musketeers Digimon card and option card with a memory cost of 7 or less in your trash. So that's really the main goal of this deck. You're going to be adding, milling, trashing cards from your hand, milling from the top of your deck to really add those cards, as many as you can, so you can decrease her play cost with this particular effect. Now on play, return 1 option card with a memory cost of 7 from your trash back to your hand. Then you get to use 1 option card with the memory cost of 7 in your hand for free, and that's really what she is there for. Really cool and important card. We still want to mainly focus on this one because it brings a lot of value to let you play all the different kinds of 7-cost options that you have in your deck, and her herself counts as a 3 Musketeers in the trash as well, so keep in mind she does help you reduce the cost while she's in the trash to play herself, which is also going to be really good. And that's it for the first BeelStar. We are also playing the brand new BeelStar right here. This is the secondary boss Digimon of the deck, secondary main key focus and the whole engine that the deck focuses on with its core combos. Very similar to the old one, where when you would play this card from your hand, you get to reduce the play cost for 4 for every 10 cards you have in the trash. And this is why you guys will understand why milling from the top of your deck is going to be super important, so you can get there very quickly and play her for very little cost. Normally you can reduce the cost down to 5 or even potentially 1 with this card, and that's really where you sort of do your Impmon rush combos coming in later on. Because all turns once returned, when a card is trashed from your deck, you get to play 1 Impmon from your trash without paying memory cost, and then that Impmon's gained rush for the turn. So it's going to be really good for you to pull off your combo plays and opponent's turn as well. Whenever opponent's Digimon attacks, you trash the top card of your deck, which is also not once returned, so it helps you bring Impmons during your opponent's turn. Is also going to be really good with the combos of the effects all the time. So 3 is really all you need because you have so much access to cards generally. You can just grab yourself 1, and you usually just play 1 during the gameplay anyways. Next, we do have the Beelzemon package. We do play the 2 copies of Starter Deck 14 Beelzemon. This one's really good because it synergizes with your Impmon Rush combos, especially with the Starter Deck 14 one. This one trashes even more cards when digivolving. You get to gain memory back when you trash cards, and most importantly, you're gaining security +1, so you can go for big, lethal, big damage plays with this card. That's why you definitely want to see at least 2 copies of. And then you have 1 blast mode for level 7. Blast mode also is really good. It is part of the Beelzemon package because you can potentially get into the Beelzemon with all the effects that you have of comboing with BeelStarmon and the Impmons that you have, and then being able to go into blast mode, you can unsuspend, gain memory back, and make more swings, and that's why it's really good. And if you ever do mill it, you get to pop something that's level 3 or lower. Adding an extra level for every 10 cards in your trash is definitely a really good one as well. And then last but not least, to round off for all the level 7s, I do have 1 DefX right here. DefX is just really, really good. If you guys don't want to play DefX or don't have access to DefX, feel free to substitute for any card inside this deck profile to add in extra ratios just to fill in the slots with it. But DefX is always great because it's situational, really good against certain matchups. We all know how good this card really is. That's it for all of our Digimon. Let's talk about our options, where we have a lot to talk about. First and foremost, we got 4 copies of Fly Bullet, which is BeelStarmon's signature move, and you must include 4 copies of this one, which is really good. Fantastic alt art, by the way. Just so you guys know, it took me forever to try to find and hunt down these alt arts, and I really, really love it because it looks so cool. The option card itself looks almost like a Digimon. But anyways, basically, if you have a Digimon with 3 Musketeers in its type in play, you get to use this option card without meeting its color requirements. But Fly Bullet is purple, BeelStar is purple, it is her signature move. You don't have to worry about that whatsoever. Main, very simple. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon that's level 6 or lower. Security effect, basically delete what activates its main effect. And this is the card, your main removal. Deleting stuff is always really great. You know, coming out from security is really good. Having it in your trash so they can set up for BeelStarmon later on to play it for free is really ideal with what you want to do too. Then we're not done with removal yet because we got another 4 copies of Rivals Barrage right here. Super excited because this card is brand new from the starter deck, but not only that, this is the first build that I guess should build to play 4 copies of this and really, really maximize the full optimization and potential of this card. So it has 2 parts with its effects, so keep in mind, if this card is trashed from the top of your deck, you get to place it in your battle area. So after placing in the battle area, I'm going to skip towards the last third effect, which is the main delay effect. You get to place this card from the battle area and put it into your trash to grab yourself any purple Digimon card or Tamer card from your trash back to your hand, which is why it's really, really good. Otherwise, if you ever hard cast this card with its main effect, you get to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest level. And that applies exactly the same with the security effect, but keep in mind when you use its main effect, when you hard cast it, or when it comes out from security, you don't get to place this card into your battle area for its delay effect. So there's 2 parts. Keep in mind with that, guys. Playing this card is kind of tricky, sometimes a little bit confusing because it's kind of different compared to all our different like memory boost and delay type of effects cards. But otherwise, this card is incredibly good, super strong. Once again, 7 cost option, which synergizes with the deck so much, which is why I play the maximum 4 copies of. And then to round off for all of our 7 cost options, we do have the 2 copies of Nailbone. Really great because its main effect helps you bring a level 3 and level 4 Digimon from your trash. However, you don't get any on play effects, which is totally fine. Otherwise, its security lets you play a level 4 or lower card from your trash without paying memory costs, but no on play effects are allowed basically with Nailbone. And that's it for 7 cost options. There's a total of 10 only. You guys might be wondering, that's too little. Normally, BeelStar, you play way lot more 7 cost options, but don't worry, guys, it's totally okay. Just so you guys know and remind you, we do play 7 BeelStarmons in total, and BeelStarmons herself counts as well to reduce those costs, and that's really all you can really fit with 7 cost options. But we'll talk about more of the different ones that you guys can place in if you do want to and find room later on in the other cards section. But anyways, continue with our options. 4 copies of Miss Memory Boost, really important. Trashing more cards, drawing a card, delay gaining memory, just the perfect card for Beelzemon and BeelStarmon decks as always. And then we really want to turbo mill because we don't play much of the level 4s and the level 5s that trashes cards from the starter deck And this is why we have to use Darkness Wave to compensate for more turbo trashing from the top of our deck. For 1 cost, you simply trash the top 3 cards of your deck. Then if you have a yellow Digimon in play, you get to return 1 yellow or purple Digimon card from your trash to your hand, which we don't play any yellow whatsoever, so we never will get to resolve that second part of the effect. Therefore, Darkness Wave is really all about just trashing from the top. That's it. And then to round off for all of our options, we do have the 1 Calling. Calling just the best card, as always, best purple card. Lets you grab anything, delete yourself, and then, yeah, grabbing 2 of anything back from your trash. You guys know it's a staple. Really, really good, really important as well. That's it for the 50 card main deck. Let's now show you guys some other cards that I wanted to add into the deck, but didn't get a chance to because room is kind of tight. First and foremost, of course, Floodgate rookies are just really, really good in general. You definitely want to see them every now and then against certain matchups. They're just very, very useful. But again, Gazimon and Psychmon, totally up to you guys if you can find room. Then if you guys want a memory tamer, because we don't play any memory tamers, Mat is always not bad to have. A 1-of is kind of nice. Setting your memory to 3 is definitely very nice so that you can have more memory to work with. However, there are several ways to gain memories, and we're really just reducing costs with all the effects anyways. We don't really need to have that much memory to pull off our combos in most cases, but totally up to you guys. Then for more additional 7 cost options, you can still play Jawalt Schwarmer, you can still play Happy Bullet Showerwing, or even Trump Sword right here if you guys want to amp up the number of 7 cost options. However, I would say it's not necessary, but these are some really cool cards that you can definitely have, and it's definitely very beneficial in specific scenarios. Jawalt Schwarmers to blow up small boards across, Happy Bullet Showering just an extra removal to get rid of lowest DP, and Trump Sword to get rid of anything that's unsuspended. But otherwise, usually I feel like Fly Bullet and Rival's Barrage covers enough wide range of removal anyways. That's really all you need, and you don't really get to hard play these cards generally, so you do want to be trashing them mostly into your trash to add up and then use BeelStar's effect to potentially play them. So really up to you guys, and that's about it. Alright, that's it for all the cards I wanted to talk about. Let's show you guys the combo guides and sort of how to play this deck and sort of like the theory of how it all works together. So of course, you'll always be hatching your egg into Pagumon. Ideally, you're going to be digivolving into this Impmon if you can, and then as soon as you can, move out from raising and start swinging so you can start milling cards. Now, if you don't see this Impmon, sometimes you want to see this Impmon and digivolve it, which is totally fine, because really, ideally, you want to be milling this card off, but if you see it in your hand, digivolving is totally okay, and that is because then you can go into your level 4s if you need to, particularly Eismon Scattered Mode, or Dark Lizardmon, or Dobermon, so you can go on top and then go for the typical Eismon swing. And when you do the Eismon swing, you get to be on deletion, you get to draw 3, trash 2, whichever order you prefer. And the cards you really want to be trashing are some of these cards. Ginkaku Promote is always really good if you do see it to be trashed. But otherwise, like I mentioned, trashing the Nail Bones, trashing the Rival Barrages is really important. You want to trash your Beelzemons and potentially your Blast Mode. Maybe not your Blast Mode, you can keep it in your hand, but Beelzemon you definitely want to be trashing from your hand. And that is also because you're never going to be digivolving your Beelzemon through the traditional way, unlike the Beelzemon Deck profile that I showcased, because you're only going to be warping with this particular Impmon right here. That's it. That's why Beelzemon should be always in your trash whatsoever. So if you're setting up, you see these cards, you can play Dark Lizardmon, play Dobermon to, continue cycling through more cards and eventually having this in your trash, adding more cards. That's really the whole goal. Chipping away is really important with your rookies. Once again, if you can hard play, to chip away with that. If you can play Pokebomon, chip away with that. Otherwise, set up it in trash because it's going to be really, really important. At the same time, playing your Missed Memory Boost as much as you can in the early stages of the game to manipulate the memory gauge is going to be really helpful. Trashing 2 cards, drawing a card, and then of course you're going to be very oftenly seeing your Darkness Wave, so play it when you get a chance. If you get to manipulate the memory gauge with the 1 cost memory, is always going to be really, really good. Now, speaking of this Impmon in particular, you only really want to play it when you have cards that you really want to get rid of from your hand, and if you're not seeing your BeelStars at all. So if you're not seeing your BeelStars and they're in your trash, that's the only way for you to grab it back, therefore you should do it. Keep in mind, always be counting how many 7 cost options you have. Also make sure to count your BeelStar. Always know, if you have, we play multiple copies of, so you're very going to likely see a lot of these. As you're milling, sometimes you're going to see your Rival's Barrage right there, otherwise sometimes it's going to be in trash and whatnot. And of course, like I said, you're going to have multiple BeelStars in your trash at the same time, and always keep count of it, because that's when you start to basically want to do your BeelStar combos And by doing so, that's when you want to play. So you swing with your rookies, whatnot. At the same time, you're going to have lots of cards in your trash. Ideally, you're going to have like 20. Eventually, you're going to have like 30. But let's showcase you guys the first basic main BeelStar combo first. So if you have this BeelStar, let's just say you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the trash. So then you can play your BeelStar for a reduced cost. This puts you to 1. You can pass them back to 3. And then BeelStar lets you play any of your 7 cost options for free from your trash. You can play Rivals Barrage to get rid of something big. You can play Fly Bullet to get rid of something big as well. If not, Nail Bone is always really nice, because what you want to do with Nail Bone is you can then play this Impmon that's level 3. And you can play like a Pokebomon, which is your blocker. Or if you sometimes want to go for like rush strategy and you can somehow retain your turn, you can go for Kinkaku Promote to go for a quick swing with it as well. But this is the usual setup I kind of like to have. And then even for next turn, you can then play and combo it together with this other BeelStarmon. So say we have 20 cards in trash, or even 30. Let's just say your opponent puts you back to 1. If you have 30, you only need to pay 1 memory, which is why it's really good, because then you only pay 1 memory to play this. And then you find a way to sort of mill a card from the top of your deck. And by doing so, you can play an Impmon back from trash, which is why this Impmon is going to be really crucial. And this is why I kind of said earlier, I wish sometimes I have like extra copies, like a 3rd copy, because you'll be playing this very often in the late stages of the game. And once you do so, this is when you sort of bridge into your Beelzemon combo afterwards. Because you're going to swing with Impmon. Once again, you're going to have 20 cards in your trash. You can instantly warp into your Beelzemon right here to mill more cards, gain the memory back, delete something that's level 3 or lower as well, and then go for 2 swings, go for big damage, which I really like, because BeelStarmon doesn't really have much strong swings in the original sort of like standard build. And by having this, incorporating this Beelzemon inside here, you can now swing for big damage, which I really like. And it applies the pressure, and you can potentially end your opponent much quicker than the control style of the other build. But anyways, you swing with Beelzemon, and then eventually you can get into your blast mode as well. If you can't get access to it, you use Rivals Barrage to get into it. And then you can unsuspend and swing for another 2 checks right here. And then continue with the combo. Go in with this Impmon, do the exact same thing, getting into another Beelzemon that you have in your trash that you probably would have set up. That's why you always throw this Beelzemon in the trash when you can. There's no need to keep it in your hand. It's kind of a dead card, but then that's when you really get to utilize it and swing in. And now you've got lots of swings right here, and you can finish your opponent off very easily and very quickly. Vice versa with the BeelStar, you don't have to particularly play this one first for the combo. Sometimes you can just play this one first. They both theoretically do the exact same thing, is because your priority actually is to bring out these Impmons with their effects. Whether with this one, whether it's milling, whether it's this one, by playing the Nail Bone, you want to get access to these Impmons eventually, so then you can do this exact Beelzemon combo right here to finish the game off. That'll wrap up for the deck profile today. If you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful, please give it a like. If you have any suggestions, recommendations, or questions, be sure to share it with everyone in the comments down below. We got lots more Digimon videos and content coming, so definitely hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on that notification bell to stay tuned. As always, thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you next video, and it's Avault signing out.